morning. Still morning, right?
Yeah.
And welcome. My name is Terry Lisi-Maselli, President and CEO of the HIA-LI. You know, many of you know that the HIA-LI is one of the recognized voices for Long Island business and a powerful force in regional and economic development. One of our core missions that began in 1978 that we look at today as well, obviously, is our advocacy of the Long Island Innovation Park at Hauppauge. It is one of the largest in the nation. Over 4 years ago, in collaboration with the Suffolk County Industrial Development Agency, the Regional Planning Association, James Lima Planning, and Stony Brook, we embarked on a economic impact study and an opportunity analysis, really to look at the impact that the park has, not only in the county of Long Island, but also in the region. And I have to tell you, the results were astounding. You'll hear us talk about them a lot when we're out and about, but 55,000 employees, 1,300 companies, 14 billion in economic output, 4 billion in payroll, and on and on and on it goes. And you know, one of the things that the study had told us is that the park has been deemed the hub for economic development and regional development. So we're extremely excited today to be here, really to thank our very valued partners at the Town of Smithtown and commend them, because one of the things that came out of this study, one strategy was the urgent need for housing and the urgent need to really help our young professionals create a place to live, to work, to play, to really look at how to attract and retain these types of people, this talent pool and this competitive workforce. So again, we commend the Town of Smithtown, who has moved forward. There was opposition, and I know you'll hear from the town supervisor talk a little bit about it, but they did the right thing in passing the creation of this overlay for mixed use, which includes apartments. So we're very, very blessed to have them with us today. Before we do that, I want to thank our Long Island Innovation Park at Hauppauge Task Force. It is led by our board chair, Joe Campolo. This is his brainchild. He really, really pushed us to say, hey, let's take a look at this. There is something here, and there is a very, very large opportunity. So as we went through this very transparent process, Joe has led us the entire way. So help us welcome up board chair, Mr. Joe Campolo.
Thanks, Terry. Today's announcement is a celebration of Long Island's future. It also represents Long Island's role as a nationwide leader, because we have created a blueprint for successful industrial parks all across America. In today's COVID-battered economy, this is no small feat. It is something we should all be extremely proud of. People snickered 4 years ago when I suggested that HIA-LI commission an economic impact study to gather facts about the impact of the park. They dismissed it as a random collection of buildings. They questioned why the Suffolk IDA and Regional Plan Association would fund an extensive opportunity analysis and bring in the renowned James Lima Planning and Development. They said these efforts would never amount to anything. The little tract of land was no Silicon Valley. Boy, were they wrong. The facts revealed unequivocally that the approximately 1,400 businesses in the park are concentrated in tradable sectors. The industry is bringing new dollars and economic growth to the region with high-paying jobs, which demand a highly educated workforce. The opportunity analysis revealed that on Long Island as a whole, tradable industries are small, making up only 23% of Nassau and Suffolk's economy, far short of the national average of 36%, but a staggering 58% of the jobs and industries in the park associated with them are in tradable industries, which far outpaces even the national average. With the largest concentration of tradable industry businesses on Long Island, and as the regional economic hub that fosters the greatest growth of competitive tradable industries, the park is absolutely critical to economic growth and revitalization. This random collection of buildings has now indeed earned its new name, the Long Island Innovation Park at Hauppauge. But we didn't stop there. We have worked hard with the Town of Smithtown to ensure Long Island's economic viability for years to come. Mixed-use, multifamily rental housing stock is critical to facilitate job creation and economic growth, expand the property tax base, satisfy the unmet housing needs of the region, and enrich the live, work, play concept so critical to attracting these educated young workers. Especially in the age of COVID, workers do not want to travel far, if at all, to get to work. And now in the Town of Smithtown, there are options so they don't have to. Without housing, new workers cannot come to the region for these high-paying jobs because there is no place for them to live. And 68% of the young people already here are considering leaving. This model is not sustainable. With the Smithtown Overlay District, we now have a new model that will anchor not only Long Island's economy, but that of the entire state. The impact will be immediate and meaningful. The construction of rental housing is estimated to consist of 2,900 construction jobs, $180.7 million in construction earnings, and $472 million in construction spending. Post-construction, over $25 million in annual spending within Suffolk County from new residents is expected. Nearly 350 jobs will be created as a result of the new resident spending, with projected earnings of $15.6 million and more spending of $45 million. For this, Supervisor Warehouse and the Town of Smithtown should be extremely proud. I would like to thank my fellow members of the Innovation Park Task Force for their tireless efforts. Led by Long Island's Lion, Terry Maselli, Carol Allen of People Alliance Federal Credit Union, Anthony Mineta of HB Solutions, Rich Human of H2M Architects and Engineers, Jim Coughlin of Tritech, Bob Corte of AVZ, Jack Kulka of the Kulka Group, and Kevin O'Connor of BNB Bank. As my term as HIA-LI Board Chair begins to wind down, I could not be more proud of the way we have worked together with our elected officials, partners, and stakeholders to ensure Long Island's future is secure. 2020 continues to test us, but together we are Long Island strong. And it's now my pleasure to introduce the man who had the courage to pick up this initiative and carry it through, Town of Smithtown Supervisor Ed Wareheim.
Thank you very much, Joe, and good morning, everybody. As Terry alluded to, I will tell you that with change, especially in our business of government, there always will come opposition. The key is to have the political courage to do what's right for all residents and the community, and that's exactly what happened here. It has been a distinct pleasure to work with HIA-LI and Terry and Joe and their staff, Mitch, all our other elected officials on this endeavor. So we bought into it immediately. We knew it was the right thing to do. And as government officials, that's what we are charged with doing to keep the economy, to keep our economy going, especially through COVID-19. As Joe alluded to, we have some very difficult times here, and I think it's imperative that this initiative was successful and it's going to be successful. So as Joe alluded to, 67% of Long Islanders 18 to 34 years of age plan to leave the region within the next 5 years. Those are statistics that are true. Smithtown is especially vulnerable to the exodus of young people, which would decimate the local economy, leaving behind an aging population incapable of filling the jobs that are necessary in this park. Our youth are our future here, and we must begin to provide housing options for young professionals other than living in mom's basement, which many of them do. These young people later upgrade to single-family households in the area, investing in the local economy, and eventually enrolling their children into our schools. How do we know this is what they want? Because they told us. The Lima study involved 3 years of rigorous research, polling and collecting market data. The study asked local college students what type of job, housing, and community they are looking for upon graduation. This overlay district lays the foundation for the next 50 years, providing attractive workforce housing, promoting investment, and will bring new and innovative development and job growth to this park. Long Island Innovation Park, as Terry said, 1,400 acres, 1,300 plus companies, 55,000 employees, and for Smithtown generates $19 million in annual tax revenue. So this is an economic driver and is vitally important to the economy of our town of Smithtown. The HIA-LI invested the time and funding to ensure that the park not only maintains its long-standing reputation as New York's economic engine, but evolves into a sustainable and thriving innovation center for the next half-century. Today marks the beginning of a path forward for the park, for future generations, for local economy, and for all of Long Island. I would like to close by thanking my town board, elected officials in Smithtown, who supported this initiative with me. I'd also like to have a special shout out to Councilman Tom Lohman, the liaison to the HIA Industrial Park. So Tom, thank you very much for your We're looking forward to moving forward with the initiative, and we're very proud of our relationship, and it will continue into the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor. Courage, right? I mean, that's what I say, courage. Good for you. Thank you. So, you know, it was not too long ago, I believe the county executive called the park, and I read, the cornerstone of Suffolk County's economy. He said it helps keep Hauppauge's property taxes, as you know, among the lowest. It brings back, as we know, $19.6 million in total tax assessed value to the town of Smithtown alone, and another $44 million to the Hauppauge School District. So it is a jewel, it is a diamond, absolutely. We also know with a project like this, so Ed mentioned, you know, out of the over 1,400 acres, 13 of the 450 parcels that are over 7 acres or more now are set to allow at least for mixed use. So it is a phenomenal first step to, as everybody alluded to, where young professionals can live, can work, can play. So although the county executive could not be with us this morning, we're lucky to have Natalie Wright, and she is a Suffolk County Commissioner of Economic Development and Planning. So please welcome her.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. So I just want to say a few words. You know, first off, I really want to thank the foresight of the HIA-LI and the Suffolk County IDA for always knowing what a gem this park was, but putting forth the report to be able to put it out there to the public and to let everyone know what a great asset that this is. The report commissioned by the Suffolk County IDA recommended that the park become an economic hub and foster a live, play, work environment. So last year we knew that the need for such integrated lifestyles was sorely needed here on the island, but given the unprecedented events of 2020, we have seen the blending of work, home, and play become almost unrecognizable. I think everybody has used their living room for all three of those things probably at this point in time. For all the terrible things that have resulted as a result of the pandemic, one of the silver linings is that employers and employees have been able to see the benefits of a more integrated lifestyle and what that can bring. The Innovation Park at Hauppauge, as Terry and Jill mentioned, is undeniably an economic engine not only for the town, for Suffolk, but the entire region. Approximately 1 in 20 jobs are created or retained here. And about 8% of all of Long Island's GDP is generated here. And the park is second only to Silicon Valley based on jobs, which as a non-native Long Islander is one of my favorite facts to share, because I think Silicon Valley has a national and world recognizable brand name. And we're here to try and, you know, bring the Innovation Park at Hauppauge up along with the Silicon Valley name recognition. But those astonishing statistics don't really begin to truly characterize the benefits that this park brings. And by infusing the opportunity to develop housing and mixed-use development through the town Supervisor Wareheim's leadership, they recognize the importance of continuing to bolster and grow the attractiveness of this amazing asset, the innovation economy that it fosters, and the communities that are supported by it. Creating this as a walkable community and the numerous dividends that walkable communities provide, whether it's environmental impacts, work-life balance, cost reductions, health improvements, traffic reduction, which I think we all would appreciate here on the island, provide lifestyle options that young Long Islanders are unfortunately leaving and seeking elsewhere. And to put it bluntly, our future generation is leaving. They are leaving and they are not coming back. So projects such as this assist Suffolk in moving away from the bedroom community moniker of the past and are able to fully capitalize on the benefits of a work-play-live ecosystem. The county and the IDA are pleased to see the next phase of the park story move forward and welcome the future residents that will ultimately not only call the park work, but also will call the park home. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Natalie, and thank you for Suffolk County's partnership. Really, truly amazing. So, as we began, we said this project itself started 4 years ago, and we are pleased to say that Kelly Morris has been with us every single step of the way. She's the Deputy Executive Director of the Suffolk IDA and really has been the advocate on their end for this park. I can't say enough about it because one of the things she brings to this picture, in addition to obviously putting the survey together and helping with the study and giving us James Lima, is that she is just a phone call away at any time to talk about the what ifs. What if we did this? What would this look like with a workforce training center? How could we get these funds? So I can't thank her enough as a friend and as somebody, again, who's a true advocate. So help us welcome Kelly Morris.
This is when you really miss being able to hug somebody, right? Good morning. It's always an honor to be among our leaders and our partners in economic development at an event and location that's the epicenter of innovation and economic growth. Today is a day that will serve as a future reminder that big ideas can become reality when effective leadership, collaboration, and smart planning all come together for a common goal. HIA-LI and the Suffolk IDA have been steadfast partners for quite some time, as you just heard from Terry. Our mission to foster economic development, promote business, and job creation has made this a real natural leadership since the start. So back in 2016, Terry and I started a conversation, and from there, talked about working with our planning group, which you've heard over and over. It started with Regional Plan Association. We gathered major stakeholders together, the HIA-LI board members, Joe leading that charge, and held a visioning session to discuss what a reimagined park would actually look like. Terry and Joe then took that idea to the next level, and they partnered with Stony Brook University on a year-long economic impact analysis. Once completed, the IDA again got involved and took a deeper dive. Along with James Lima Planning and Terry with her board, a comprehensive report was created. This is technically a roadmap towards reimagining the park in the 21st century. Partnering with HIA-LI to conduct this thorough study enabled us to look at how we could truly unlock the potential of the park, transforming it into a true live, work, play environment that could also nurture the development of key sectors. One of the first recommendations to be accomplished was the renaming of the park to the Long Island Innovation Park at Hauppauge. This park is the cornerstone of Suffolk County and Long Island's economy. From attracting, retaining, and advocating for the needs of Long Island business to partnering with us in reimagining the park itself, the Suffolk IDA, Supervisor Wareheim, and of course his board, and the county could have no better partner in promoting business and economic development than the HIA-LI. We're proud to be here today joining you for this historical moment in the park's already very rich history. Thank you so much. I know, it's terrible.
Terrible, it's a terrible thing. Thank you, Kelly. Look forward to many, many more steps
Absolutely.
in progressing the sustainability of the park. So another valued partner, has been a valued partner of ours for many, many, many years, is Libby. And certainly Mitch Pally, who's the CEO of Libby, who, again, stepped up to the plate and understood there was a true value in his members, right, for his members to really look at this in terms of housing and building. So he's been with us every step of the way. So help us welcome up Mr. Mitch Pally.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Joe, Kelly, Nicole, Natalie, everyone from the town. This on this side is political leadership. That's all this is political leadership. It starts today with the transformation of Long Island. Long Island can no longer live in a segregated series of activities where office is in one place, housing is in another place, recreation is another place, commercial is another place, retail. What we need to do now is to transform Long Island for the 21st century so that everything is located together. This is the first step, and this took the leadership of the Smithtown supervisor and the town board to make this happen. It is an example of what can happen when a town decides this is the right thing to do and does it on its own with support from its stakeholders without waiting for a developer to ask them to do it. It does it on its own. It transforms its zoning code to allow an overlay district so that multiple uses can happen at the same place. It is exactly what we're hoping to do, not only in this park, but in retail shopping centers and establishments all across Long Island, where, as we all know, retail is now changing, and big boxes are now empty. And those are perfect places for housing. The infrastructure is there, everything is already there, and all we have to do is change the use. And this, I'm gonna use this change by Smithtown to go to every municipality on Long Island and say, you see what can happen when people get together and decide progress on Long Island is the most important thing. So we are glad to be here. We are so excited to be here. We know this is going to be the first step, not just in Smithtown, but all across Long Island, to transform Long Island into a 21st century environment. It's good for the economy of Long Island, and it's good for the environment of Long Island, and there's nothing better than both of those. And I want to thank everybody here for allowing us to participate in our small way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch, and absolutely teamwork at its best. You know, let me just add to that. This was and is a true bipartisan, right, project. In this political landscape, I think that's really important to mention, that it just went across, don't you think? All boundaries,
Absolutely.
all boundaries. So very, very, very proud of it. Another huge supporter of ours through the years has been Mr. Mike Fitzpatrick. He not only gets involved in a lot of the educational things we do, but he's always there by our side in terms of some of the local entities and some of the local things that we're looking at. So help us welcome up New York State Assemblyman Mike.
It's a pleasure to be here because this is a very exciting day for the future of Smithtown, Suffolk County, and Long Island. Mitch mentioned this is good for Smithtown, good for the environment, but it's also good for people. The young people who are going to live in the new environment that we're creating here in the industrial park. It is good for our building trades, our plumbers, our carpenters, joiners, and others who will build the new future here in Hauppauge. And it's also going to be good for those who today oppose it, because one thing we hear through this pandemic when we hear the governor speak, he wants to deal in facts. Well, the LIA, or the HIA-LI, and the Town of Smithtown gathered the facts through the Lima study. And those facts show that we need to adapt, we need to change, we need to move forward. And the old rules no longer apply. So I'm very excited to support this effort and stand arm in arm with one of the best supervisors, I like to call the second best supervisor I've ever had. My father's being the first. I sound a little bit like Andrew Cuomo, who talks about his dad. But Eddie's leadership, with Tommy's help and the rest of the board, they're not afraid to confront those who, in a knee-jerk way, oppose it. And we listen to the opposition, but the opposition needs to understand that, look at these facts, look at who we're trying to help. And I was a member of the town board, and I've been a member of the assembly, and I can point to a number of projects that I voted in favor of that were controversial at the time because people were opposing. There'll be too much traffic, too many trucks, too much this, too much that. And today you look at these projects and you say, look, they've benefited this community. And I think 10 to 20 years from now, when we see the changes that are coming to this park and the new life that's coming here, I think those who today oppose it are going to say, you know what, it worked out okay. And their home values are going to increase because of this, because bottom line, that's what they're worried about, the value of their home. Their home values are going to increase because of what we're doing here today and what this town, in partnership with this industrial park, this innovation park, is doing today. So I'm excited about this. I'm glad to be a part of it, and I think the best days are still to come. You know, we remember when this place developed. Many of these buildings housed small contractors that were subcontractors for Grumman Aerospace and the aerospace industry that we had here on Long Island years ago. Well, we lost those industries, and we do have a heavy tax burden. So how do we maintain the viability of this park? How do we retain our young people? Well, we have to innovate, and that's what the HIA, the Innovation Park, it does very well, is very good at, and the leadership of Supervisor Wareheim and this town board, in partnership with them, is going to make this one of the most exciting places to live, work, and play in the entire country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. So, you know, no doubt why we're so excited with this powerhouse in back of me, right? You will see many, many other steps. Just to back up as we close, other things that are going on here that you should know about. So we partnered again with the Suffolk IDA and the Long Island Regional Planning Council. They've just done a skills gap analysis to potentially get us closer to a workforce training center. So we're talking today about housing and young professionals. They need to be trained, and there are definitely jobs in the park, as many alluded to, that need to be filled. So we're very excited about that. We're working on brick and mortar signs, and I will give kudos again to the Town of Smithtown, who has just cut a deal with the Department of Public Works, I hear, for the first time. I'm personally very excited about that. Very excited about that, I know. So there are many, many steps being taken, and you will see many, many in the future. Again, I want to thank all of those that are standing behind me, because they are the ones really making this happen. And I'm going to open this up to some Q&A or any comments that you might have.
You were that good.
So it's all good.
It's all good. Yes?
Dave,
Okay.
Dave,
Well, thank you all for coming.